Alright guys, well, as we all know that we tore this apart last week. We had to actually order parts. Took a week to get them in, valve cover gaskets, or exhaust gaskets, head gaskets. We also took in the old lifters. We got new ones. I put them in oil last night to get them all ready. We're gonna check those in a little bit so we can do that, but right now we're gonna work on getting the residue crap off the heads and gaskets, all that crap. Well, let's just say we gotta sit in the engine bay. We gotta clean off all this gasket material that was left over from the old stuff. See it? We can sit here and scrape it off. Oh, it's gonna be fun. Ooh, look at that, all clean. Not surface clean, but we scraped it all off. Yeah, now we gotta go check the lifters and all that fun stuff. Alright, well, we got the lifter standing up. So what we're gonna do is take a push rod, put it down on top of the lifter like usual. Like it usually goes, and we're just gonna push on it. You feel them go up and down. What we're doing is trying to push the air bubbles out of the little hole. You just can't see them right there on the side. Just make sure it's full of oil, so we don't have like a dry fire when we go to start it. Oh, we noticed something wrong here. Look at the size of those lifters on the bench. I was wondering why these ones weren't collapsing. These are different lifters. This is what they sent me in the boxes. 3 lifters are too big. Look at that. You can tell the difference. That's not good. So I guess we'll be making a phone call, finding out if we can get these replaced now ASAP. So, little update. Those 3 that are the wrong size, we are taking back. They're taking them back and exchanging them for some reason. I don't know why that they're the wrong part number. We looked at the boxes and we had 3 that were a different part number. So those are going back. The driver for the store is coming as of right now with 3 brand new ones that are the right part number, and they're gonna pick up these last 3 ones. So that took care of that. We just gotta wait on that. So for right now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna get the rest of the one side at least put together, because we can actually start working on that while we wait for the parts delivery guy to show up and get the one side done. So that's what we're gonna do right now. Alright, so what we're gonna do is the lifters that we still had in the oil, what we're gonna do is we're gonna pop these out, and basically we're just gonna like slide them in here. I'm gonna see if I can line up that hole just like that. I'm not even watching what I'm doing. Just drop them in like that. Let me come over here, do number 2. Just gonna put it in like that, and then we're just gonna slide it on in there. Don't worry about the oil. We'll clean it up after we get done, and we're just gonna continue to do this. This is just gonna be a little tedious process here, getting these new bad boys in. We just keep going. Alright, so well, we have those 6 in there. We got that one ready and that one ready. We're just waiting on those other 3 to show up that were too big, but for right now, let's get this right side head cleaned up and ready to go. So same scenario we got on this side. Got that leftover gasket material crap. We just gotta clean up, so we're just gonna sit here and just kinda, you guys can tell all that's the leftover gasket from the old head gasket. Yep. And we're just gonna kinda scrape it off, clean it up, get ready for new gasket. Ooh, look at that. Gasket material's all cleaned off. Smooth, cleaned out, ready to go on. So let's go find our right side head gasket. Let's get that baby on and get this head down. Get the gasket out. Now this does say front up, so this side has to go up. So this is not the up, this is the down on that side. So this goes up. You line it up with your little pins. They're sticking up right there. Just get it set in place. Same with the other side. Little snug fit. Well, there we go. That one's on right there. So now what we gotta do is I'm gonna lower this head down, but I can't do that by myself and record at the same time. So we're gonna put that down, and then we'll just show you guys how I put the head bolts back in and torque them all down. All right, that's set down. That's the right side. So hopefully that those will show up soon, so we can get those on. But right now we're gonna get the head bolts back in on these, get them fit snugged by hand before we torque them all down. So that's what we're gonna do right now. Just gonna fit them on nice and snug by hand, wait for those pieces, because I want to do all the head bolts together and not have to do it again, because you have to do them in a 3 or 4 step sequence. All right, well, update. While we were waiting for those 3 lifters to get here, we go ahead and put this head on. These are only finger tight. I can still loosen them by hand. Right then, what we're gonna do is we're gonna get the exhaust gasket put in here, so we can get this exhaust back on the right way where it goes. Make sure we got all the bolts for these. I know we broke 1 off or 2 off on this side. We got to get replaced. Oh, it freaking worked. It'll be back together this weekend running. So we still got a long way to go. long way. Little update. Right side and left side heads are on. The bolts are not torqued to sequence yet, but we're gonna work on it right now. So in order to do this, we gotta go 1, or this is number 1, and then 2, 3, 4. We have to kind of go in a pattern in 3 different settings, which would be awesome. So let's get the first torque setting done and down. Alright guys, as you saw, that was the torquing of all the heads down, or all the bolts on the heads. They're all done. The exhaust gasket are in, and they're bolted up. They're ready to go. I am going to now work on getting the rockers on this side and the push rods back in. Also, everything else too. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting day. 'Cause I want to get this done today because it's supposed to be wet, and I just want to get it done because it's supposed to turn out cold again. So let's get this done. Not much left to do. It's just all the little tedious stuff takes forever, and I'll show you guys how to lash all these too as well when I'm putting them back in. And once we get the bottom plenum of the intake in, I will show you guys how to reset the timing as well, because we did have to pull the distributor out. Oh boy, it's just, you know, big old mess. Anyway, let's just start with getting these valve rockers in, or the rockers and the valve push rods and the rockers. God, I can't speak and talk today. It's too freaking early. It's like early. Anyway, all right guys, we got all of the rocker arm supports in. Now we got to get all of the push rods in, get them lined up, get these adjusted down where they're nice and snug before we check the lashings on these things, which is really easy actually. We will show you guys how to do that on the first set on cylinder 1, and then we'll just kind of move on with everything else on the way down through everything. So alright, so since we got all the push rods in, are all lined up, what we have to do is now we have to bring up number 1 cylinder to TDC, top dead center. What we got to do is, there's a little gap in between there. You guys can see it very well, if you can see it all anyway. This has to be lined up flat with that, just flush, as we tighten this down. Once this is lined up flush with this, we got to turn this 1.5 turns, I believe. 1.5 turns, equivalent to 0.70 inches. So this has got to be turned pretty far down. So once those touch, then we go through and basically do all of them on the compression stroke in the firing order. So you got to do it in the firing order as of the motor was running. Alright, so I went ahead and did number 1. So it should look like this, nice and snug. Yes, you can still push down the lifters. That's nice and snug. Now we gotta do the next one. So it'll be 1, 4, 2, 5. So it'd be 1, 4, 2, 5, 3, 6. is the fire motor on this baby. So we just gotta rotate the motor around, do them all. That's gonna be time consuming and a lot of work. So, all right, everybody, that took about 45 minutes because you have to, like I told you, rotate the engine. We get that sitting down at about 0 lashing, and then we turn it 1.5 turns past 0 lash to get this fully tight. They're all done. Now we got to put this intake gasket and the intake back on so we can get the timing reset and back in. So that's all done because I really don't want to do it when everything's together and we're fighting it and everything else. I just want to do it now, be done with it, and it won't be in the way. Oh boy. Yeah, I'm so looking forward to it. It's gonna be a long day. It is now probably, I don't know, 8:30 in the morning now. So we're getting there slowly. Hopefully I have it run this by this afternoon to be done with it so we can actually take it for a little ride. We'll drive, find out. It will be done though. All right, everybody, look at that. Intake's in, distributor's in. It's not perfectly timed, but it's at TDC where we need to check it. Spark plugs are back in. Fuel lines are hooked up except for the high pressure line. I get it underneath the frame rail for and hook it up. But next we gotta put valve covers on, get those done. Get the spark plug wires, the ignition wires on both sides, get those done. We gotta get the alternator back on and the wiring harness, things like that. All this small stuff, it takes forever, so we'll just kind of keep you updated as we go through. And yeah, once we get the valve covers on, I'll get the top plumbing put on. Woo! All right, look at that. An update. Alternator's on. Heater core lines are on. Wiring harness is in, except for the miscellaneous stuff we have to hook up once we get the top plumbing on. A couple things we got to finish. We got to hook up the cold start mechanism, the thermostat thing, a couple grounds. I got a ground over there I got to hook up. I got a ground here I got to hook up. And then top radiator hose, upper radiator hose is going to go in. And then we can attempt to try and start it. Ooh, look at that, guys. We have got that. Got some music here. All done. Look at that. Everything's back together. It is ready to rock and start. So we'll see here in a minute. I gotta do a couple things. We still gotta get coolant in here, and I gotta clean up some of these tools because right now it's a big old freaking mess. So we're gonna clean that up, and yeah, we're gonna start with that first. Then we'll get fuel to it, make sure there's no leaks, and then we'll hit the starter button. Alright guys, we just checked for leaks on the fuel line. Nothing's running, fuel pumps are running, there's no leaks. So we're good there, everything's together, so, and we got coolant in it. Let's go ahead and fire this thing up. Alright, here goes nothing. We're gonna get in it, fire it up. Oh, keys in, ignition's on. I think we need the wipers on. Here goes nothing. How about them apples? She's running. Oh, she's running all right. Now, we just gotta throw a timing light on her and make sure that's all set in stone and get that all locked down. So here comes the fun stuff. Alright guys, after she's run, we got her outside here so we can do a couple of tweaks. Checked on a couple things. We got no coolant leaks. Letting her warm up a little bit. Meanwhile, I did check the timing. We were off a little bit, so I agreed that. If you guys want to know what I'm looking at, you're not going to be able to see it, but anyway, there's two tack marks right there. There's two tack marks, another layer up. When you flash this light, you have to see the camera perfect. Flash it. But it doesn't refresh very fast. When you hit the light on it, it tells you where it's at. So when you get that set up, you can actually move the distributor while it's still loose, and you can turn it, which then you can adjust timing. So it's perfect where it's sitting. that's a wrap for the truck anyway. If you guys want to subscribe for more, subscribe for more. Leave a comment, all that fun stuff. Join us. Keep contact. Thanks to all my subscribers, and yeah, it's been a long, fun week. Get that thing back anyway. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.